friends, it's Catherine. I just did a Periscope and I was showing the gals some new product I got by a company named Shimmerz. And if you're on YouTube, be sure to hop over to my blog because I'll have links for you. But everybody was going a little bit crazy over this stuff. What I'm going to show you today is a product called Dazzlerz, and it is a texture paste, and I'm really enjoying this product, and I will show you why. So I just did a Periscope and I showed everybody some of these cool products that I have. So let me explain what they are. So there is this texture paste. We have Dazzlerz and Textures. This is Goldmine. That's one of the things I love about this company is their names. I think it's really fun. This is a texture paste with some grit in it. And the other one I showed was called Artichoked. I think that's hysterical. So we can stamp and we can laugh at the same time. We have Dazzlerz. I have Coral Me Crazy, See You in the Morning, and this is a very nice creamy, let me take this one off because my little white little thingy here is ripped on the other one, but look at, can you guys see how creamy and shiny this is? I'm digging it. Okay, and then we have Blings and Shimmerz. I'm not 100% sure, like I think this is just like a paint, and maybe they can come in here and enlighten me a little bit. Maybe I'll write some in the blog post. If you're on YouTube, make sure you head over to my blog so you can find out some more. And then the blings, and these come in different colors, so they're pretty fun. And then we have Inklings and Creamies. These are watercolors. So this is watercolor with a touch of shimmer, and then the Inklings are shimmering watercolors. So you just spritz some water in here, use your paintbrush, stir it around, and the more you stir it and add water, the more opaque it gets, I think. I'm still learning about these products. So I wanted to try something out with the stencil from the Stamp of Approval, the Young at Heart collection. And I'm just going to, stencil right over this. And in my Periscope, I mentioned when I do videos, a lot of things have to happen. I have to have washed and styled my hair. I have to have makeup on. I have to have my nails done, and look, they're not done, but hopefully you guys will just ignore that part. And my mojo needs to be flowing. So a lot of things have to happen. It's like a symphony. So the symphony is almost complete. We're missing one part, and that's the nail part right now. So I'm going to test something out. I'm going to do this double stenciling technique that I've done in a couple videos. And I'm going to move this over. This is one thing that I adore about this stencil. You can have a fun diamond pattern like this, or you can move it over and do it again and have like double diamonds. I'm going to use a little bit more of this Post-it tape because I want to make sure I don't get any of this texture paste onto that little extra piece right there. So now I'm going to use this See You in the Morning, and it's obviously blue, and I've just done pink. So I didn't wash it off, so I'm wondering if it's going to pick up any of that pink, and it's looking like it's not really picking up the pink. So we're just going to have pink with blue texture paste. This glides on like an absolute dream. It's very, very smooth. It's really shiny. If you are a Stamp Nation member, we have that stenciling class going on. It will be there as long as you're a member. And there is a prize by this company over there too, so be sure to check it out. And you know, when you don't wash off your stencils, then the ink is still there and it will blend with your embossing paste or your texture paste, but that didn't really happen. It stayed pretty blue. So, oh, I kind of messed up, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to fix that, but we've got a pretty cool background going on here. Now my stenciling is dry, and I'm going to take the scallop rectangle from the Stamp of Approval Young at Heart collection, and I'm going to cut this out. And I don't know if you've noticed anything different about me. It is a whole nother day since I started this video, and I've been able to give myself a new manicure. Sometimes I just can't get these all done in one day, but all right, so here is our little technique piece, and it's time to figure out what else is going to go on this card. Now before I add the little elements that I'm going to embellish this card with, I'm going to put the card base together. So I'm just doing a little bit of a black mat, just a little smaller than that scallop piece, and we'll Put that onto the card front. Now I'm gathering things that I want to add to this card, and I know I want to do a wishes die, so I cut that out, and I wish I had cut it out of this layer before I glued it all together, but I wasn't even thinking. And I want to do just a white cake layer, and I think I want a little flower on it. So I want it to coordinate with my project. So I have a little water brush, and we're just going to get it a little bit wet and color this flower. So it will match my project perfectly. So I have cut out vellum cardstock out of one of my circle dies, and I want to do sending happy birthday wishes. So I'm going to kind of go backwards. I'm going to do birthday first. Happy right next to it. Praying that I was straight, and then sending right on top. Now vellum cardstock takes a while to dry, so I'll just kind of let that sit, or, you know, I actually may throw some clear embossing powder on the top of it and emboss it, and that will kind of guarantee that I don't smudge it because it will be an embossed image. I have this giant container of YAH embossing powder. Oh my gosh, I love it. This is gonna last me forever. But YAH embossing powder is my favorite embossing powder. And if you're on my newsletter, you know my story. I went to CHA and I talked to the guys at YAH for a while, and they said that the YAH embossing powder has an anti-static agent in it. So if you don't put your fingers all over your project and you don't take this powder and put it in another container, you won't need an embossing buddy or a little deactivator tool because it's not going to stick to the static. But if you put your fingers all over your project, you're going to probably transfer a little bit of oil from your fingers. Or if you put this in another container, you're going to pick up static from that container. So they recommend, like I always do in my videos, I pour it on and then I tap it off into like a piece of paper, and then I just funnel it. You know, I'll take my paper and I'll funnel it back into the container. And of course I got a smudge here. So I already have dimensional adhesive on the back of this cake, so I decided just to cut out another one. I'll lay it right on top, and then I'll have an extra thick little cake layer on here, so I think that will be fun. And I'm gonna do my wishes and then my to you and just add all of my little bits and pieces onto my vellum circle. Dot dot, not a lot I say, although it looks like in some places I do have a lot. Yikes. I'm just going to dab some of that off on paper towel because I don't want it to get all over my project. It does dry clear, but I still wanted to minimize that as much as possible. I have all of my pieces all ready. I'm just going to add the little cake here, and then I will strategically add my liquid glue to the back, so hopefully it won't show through the vellum. Then I think I need a few sequins. So one in the center of the flower, and then a few just kind of scattered on my card. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. If you want to learn more about stenciling, we have that awesome stenciling class going on at Stamp Nation. We are just about done posting our lessons, but those lessons will be on Stamp Nation for the duration. So you just log in, click the classroom at the top of the page, and then look for the stenciling class. And I always like to do one little sequin poking out from a little layer somewhere on the card. So hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial and you're inspired. I will see you soon. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon.